going to start off with telling you guys how we came to the decision to elope, because a lot of people don't know that
we did elope.
Right. They just know that we're married now. They don't, like, no one knows if it was like a small ceremony or anything like that. We eloped.
It was a small ceremony.
It was a very small ceremony. But when we started dating, we were dating for about a year and a half, and we were in the same city. And then I moved back home, and then 6 months after that, he got a job in Michigan and moved up here. So then we did long distance for a year and 8 months.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we were in the same city for like less than a year and a half, and we were long distance for more than a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of evaluated our situation, and we knew we wanted to get married. We talked about it, and we knew that we were going to, and the only thing that was holding us back was
money.
And we were going to pay for the ceremony, and we wanted everyone to be there, and we wanted it to be a beautiful thing and everything to be well put together.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were like, okay, well, we're just gonna have to wait another year or two
just to save up enough money to be able to pay for it. Right. We threw out so many ideas just to figure out how we were going to basically get married and get in the same city. And then another thing for me was, and this was my personal preference, I wasn't going to live with him and move in with him unless we were married.
Right.
Not engaged, not dating, but married.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me and my philosophy, because he could have proposed, but a proposal is not a guarantee. That's not a guarantee for nothing.
Right. Until you say I do.
Right. Until you say I do, you don't. You ain't.
So it was a bunch of things.
Mm-hmm.
So we came together and we decided, look, I think it's a better idea if we just do something radical and unheard of and elope. And it kind of like went from a $15,000 loan to let's take out a smaller loan and then do it in Hawaii, and then maybe we'll do it in the Caribbean, and then we're like, all right, look, this doesn't make sense. Like, the reason we're eloping is to save money, so why are we going to take out a loan or just spend a whole lot more money if it's not going to be the official wedding?
Right. So for us, it came out to, we weren't going into debt to get married.
Right.
We weren't going into debt to get married. And then somewhere in between there, he started listening to Dave Ramsey.
Yep.
And then he got me listening to Dave Ramsey. So we were like, okay, yeah, it's stupid, because one of the number one reasons people get divorced is over finances.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't
gonna get divorced,
right?
But we didn't feel
we didn't want that extra fight,
extra
stress.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I proposed on a Saturday. She came up with me, and we eloped on a Thursday. We eloped on a beach in Michigan,
and we didn't have to go into debt. We didn't have to get no loans. It was all, our coins, cash flow. Everything came together perfect. I never thought that would be my story, that would be my life. And don't get us wrong, we still plan on having a ceremony, because I still want to, go and pick out the dress with my mom and have bridesmaids and have groomsmen. And I talk to other people and other women, they like, well, why do you want to do that? Y'all already married. Because it's my life.
And because we want our family and our friends to be involved in that.
And that's our choice.
Part of our coming together.
So we're going to do it, because we want to. Now that we together, then we decided to get on a financial plan. And because we were listening to Dave Ramsey, we decided to do Dave Ramsey's plan, because one thing that we both kind of came to an agreement on was that we were going to get out of debt, and we were going to get out of debt aggressively, and we were going to get out of debt and never look back.
Right. Dave always says, live like no one else so that you can live and give like no one else.
Right.
And that's really what we want to do with our life. And with our incomes, we want to just bless people and show God's love through,
and we want to be comfortable. We want to be comfortable. We don't want to have financial obligations that we stress. Like, I don't want that for my life. I don't want that for my kids' life. So I want to have enough stored up to give to my grandkids.
Right.
And for us, the first couple times we did a budget, it was rough.
It wasn't terrible.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Oh my God, it was argument city, because we do budgets twice a month.
Mm-hmm.
We do budget twice a month, and I would say that for the first 2 months, which is like the first 4, budget committee meetings.
The first 2 were a lot worse than the second 2, and then since then, it's been smooth seas and easy sailing.
Mm-hmm. because we have a plan now. When we get paid at the beginning of the month, we sit down and write out the budget. So we just rewrite all of our expenses. He likes to use, what site do you use?
EveryDollar.
And I write it down. So what's been happening the last couple times is he'll do his and I'll do mine, and we'll meet and make sure we have the same figure, and then we're allocating the same money to the same thing. We pull out how much we use every month for gas, and we pull out of the bank how much money we have every month for food. So when we go to the grocery store, when we get gas, we just pay cash for it. So we're not like, okay, do we have extra money left? Where are we in the budget? So stuff like that we take out, and then we automatically pay all of our loans and all of our bills, and then whatever is left over,
we decide what to do with, but more often than not, like all of it goes to debt.
Mm-hmm. And that's now, but because before whatever extra went to debt, it went to our emergency fund, because Dave recommends to save at least $1,000 in your emergency fund before you start tackling debt. Mm-hmm. And thus far, doing this system, we've paid off my car, we paid off Sally Mae, we paid off a couple
small things.
Yeah, and our goal is to be debt free by December 2015. Now, if we don't meet that, or if we don't reach that, that's okay, but that's the goal, and we are aggressively doing that, and we're doing what it takes. Like he said earlier, Ramsey always says, live like no one else so you can live like no one else, and that's what we're doing. Like I'm not like a shopping fanatic. I used to love to go to the mall, love to go shopping, love to like go to the drugstore or go to a Mac or something and pick up makeup. Like I don't really do that anymore. Like, you know, every so often I'll get myself a little something, but we'll fit that in the budget. At our budget meeting, we'll be like, okay, well baby, this month let's take out a little chunk to go on like a two day mini vacation, or, you know, or let's take out a little bit and let's go get you some jeans, or let's take out a little bit and give me a couple shirts. Like we just plan for that. If we want to do a little extra, we'll plan for that in the budget so we know where everything is going. But we really are, I mean, sometimes we get out of whack, but like we jump back on ship. So that's the main thing with us, that even if you know, 1 month is kind of like, oh, we didn't do so well that month, we hop back on and we still like are aggressively heading towards our goals. So we are truly living like no one else so we can live like no one else. We're making the decision, so we won't die and still be in debt.
Right. And you gotta reward yourself every now and then too. Mm-hmm. Like live very frugally, yes, and know what your end goal is, but also, you know, treat yourself.
Right, because that's one thing that
take your wife to dinner.
Yeah,
take
we didn't want to be miserable doing this.
Yeah.
Like we wanted to have a couple, like, not saying that just because we are aggressively killing our debt that we deserve this or we deserve that. What we deserve is to be diligent enough to get out of debt, but we did want to have some liberties to enjoy life still while we were getting out of debt. Some of the tips and tricks and things that we do to save money. One thing that we have started doing recently is if we want to go out to eat, we'll try to find things that have deals. Like the Buffalo Wild Wings around from our apartment has like half off appetizers after 9. So we try to find little things like that where we can save on money if we want to go out and, you know, still, and it won't kill our food budget.
Right. Yeah, it's like I said, it's nice to have those kind of breaks, because meal prepping and eating the same thing over and over, it does get tiresome.
Sometimes.
Another thing that we do is we try to look at the grocery store ads. Mm-hmm. And that way you go into the grocery store, never go into the grocery store hungry for one, but 2, go into the grocery store with a plan, and so you don't just start picking up, oh, well, it'd be nice to have this or nice to have that. You know, you really go in there knowing what you want, and then you don't end up wasting money.
Yeah, and then another thing that we do is sometimes the grocery store close to us, like they have little deals that if you shop on on Friday nights or Saturday nights and you spend over like $75, then you get like $10 off or something like that. So little stuff like that we pick up on, that we do to kind of help save us, you know, extra coins here and there.
Save money where you can. Why waste money when you don't have to? Food is a big one that, you know, that's where before Janae and I got married, you know, I checked my budget one day and I was like, I'm spending how much on food? Because I went to lunch every day at work with buddies, and I'm not talking like went to McDonald's. I'm talking about we went to restaurants, sat down, and I was spending $10-15 at lunch, you know, 5 times a week, and then whatever I did on the weekends or whatever I did at night, it was out of hand. So food is a big one that you can reel in. Dave always says rice and beans, beans and rice.
Yeah, we don't do the rice and beans and rice. We like
rice.
We like rice, but we allow ourselves to work in our food budget date night so we can go out to eat, and we do, you know, sometimes we work in steak in the budget so we can buy steak at the grocery store, but sushi, like we work that into the budget, so we know ahead of time it's not rice and beans. We could do rice and beans. We honestly could if we wanted to. We could hammer our budget even tighter, but we chose not to.
We made that decision to kind of offer ourselves a little bit less of a reason to break free from the budget and run away from it.
So, you know, probably if we hammer down more, we could probably get out of debt. Maybe
it doesn't matter when,
but probably maybe like 3 or 4 months earlier. Nothing like substantial. Nothing like if we hammer down on it real hard that we would be out of debt
tomorrow.
Right. So we're like, okay, we're fine with that because it still keeps us sane. It helps us with our sanity.
Yep.
So
another thing you can do is talk to your service providers and negotiate your phone bill, negotiate your internet. I did it a couple months ago. Our internet, I looked down and I was like, how did our internet bill get this high? I called them up and said, look, let's do something about this, and got it knocked down by about 25-30%, which was huge.
Right.
It adds up.
So negotiate where you can. If you can negotiate on your cell phone bill, negotiate on your internet, negotiate on your, you know, your Comcast, and negotiate on, you know, your rent, your security deposit. Negotiate where you can. Do not be afraid to open your mouth and be like, okay, so what can y'all do for me? So yeah, save yourself some money. Open your mouth. The worst they can say is no.
And then check, like, depending on who you work for, check for discounts and stuff too. A lot of places won't tell you about all the discounts they have, so you gotta do some of that work yourself. They're in business to make money. You gotta save yourself money. It's not on them to save you money.
Yeah. And one tip that I would strongly advise is if you are trying to get out of debt, or you're trying to break a poverty spirit, or you're trying to break a poverty mindset, you really need to be listening to stuff that helps you with it. You need to be reading stuff that helps you with that, because the way our society is set up, and I don't know how, you know, you were raised in your upbringing, how your family treated money, how they dealt with money. It may be hard to break free and feel like you can be debt free and feel like you can be financially free, because one day we were just talking and I was like, baby, like, what would it feel like to not have to pay anything? Like, no student loans, no credit cards, no car note. Like, what would that feel? And I sat there with that thought and I was like, I need to be there. So I was listening. I'm so glad that he started listening to Dave Ramsey and like encouraged me to. But reading Dave Ramsey, and I started reading books. I'm reading a book now, and it's helping me to kind of get rid of some poverty mindsets that I've had, or some stinking thinking, or some lack thinking that I didn't even know that I was holding on to, and help me dream bigger and dream to let me know what's possible, because God wants us to be out of debt, and he needs us to be out of debt, especially the saints, so we can move like we need to move and give money to the kingdom so we can really push his kingdom forward. So I encourage you to listen to some podcasts about money and about getting out of debt and about what you can do to get out of debt, and read some books about getting out of debt, and then dive into the Word of God and see what the Word of God has to say about debt. Because God has a lot to say about wanting us to live an abundant life, wanting us to be good stewards of everything that we are giving and wanting.
Yeah, and we're not talking about like the love of money.
We're
just
not
talking about having freedom.
And I think that's where people kind of get that misconstrued. I'm going to be honest and say that I want to be wealthy because I don't want to have to struggle. I don't want to have to stress. If I want to get something, I'm going to want to get it. But money is not my God. I could lose it all and still be okay. Money is not going to make me change my character. I'm not going to do something illegal. I'm not going to hurt somebody or harm somebody just for an extra nickel, just for an extra dollar. My motives, I try to keep my heart pure. It doesn't become my God. I'm not like money over everything. Not at all. It's God over everything. But I do want to be in a position where I have enough, and then I can give and sow and invest in other people.
Right. Because really it's about, what you do with what you have. And, and you can't do anything if you don't have anything.
Right.
So that's...
And honestly, we broke up like 9 to 10 months before we even got married because of an argument about that. Right. Because he was coming from, well, you can tell them the position that you were coming from.
I was coming from a place like, there's so many people struggling. Like, why should I deserve to have a lifestyle that's comfortable when I could give all of the money that I get, not all of it, but the majority of the money that I get away to people who would need it more than me. And so it's finding the balance, because if you do that, I had to come to this realization, but if you do that and you give away everything, then you kind of give away your ability to do the things that God wants you to do that you might not know beforehand. Like you're sitting in church and the pastor says, okay, this person's car is broken down, would somebody be willing to help them out?
Right.
And like you could so just be like, boom, yep, all right. And you just bless someone like beyond anything that you can imagine. But you wouldn't be able to do that if you couldn't drive a car to church because you were giving all your money away. So that's not to say that giving the money to the person to church is better than giving money away to people,
right.
Other people.
Because if you make some millions, you can give some millions. If you ain't making nothing, you can't give nothing.
Right.
So.
Right. And the wealthiest man of all time was Solomon, man of God. There's a lot of good books out. One of my favorite books was Secrets of Solomon. It goes through talking about Solomon and just gives you biblical lessons. The Word of God has some great stuff in it.
And then Dave Ramsey, he has a podcast, and I listen to his podcast pretty regularly because I find that when I feel like jumping off the budget train, I'll listen to him, and he tough, boy. Ooh, he tough, but we need that.
Yeah. And
listening to him, I'll be like, okay, well, yeah, let me go ahead, stay the course, because we trying to kill this debt.
Right. And it's great to listen to his podcast because he does these debt-free screams, and you get to hear people's testimonies of what they went through and things that they did. And
yeah.
That's such an encouragement.
Yeah.
Like, I was looking at one the other day, family paid off like $3 million in 2 years or something ridiculous. It's like,
and
if they can do that, why can't we? And so
right.
It helps you get out of that defeated mindset. Whenever you do slip off the slope, or you do tend to stray and lean into that, it's great.
And one thing that we started incorporating is when we pay off, we do mini debt screens. So when we pay off, like when we paid off our Sally Mae, we're like, we're debt free. So we do little warm ups to kind of, to warm up for the real deal, because we plan on being in the studio with Dave in the plaza for our debt free screen. Hello.
Yep. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, so that's us. That's our position on money. I encourage you and I admonish you to do your research and get out of debt, people. It's time to get out of debt. You can do it. I don't care if it's 20,000. I don't care if it's 20 million. Make a plan, and that's the thing. The plan. Make a plan. Stick to the plan, and kill it.
And pray.
And pray.
Pray. Find out.
And pay your tithes.
Find out what God has for you.
Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you so much.
Be
Talk to you
blessed.
later.
Love y'all. Bye.
Mwah.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out our previous videos. Talk to you soon. Bye.